comedian Bill Cosby gained widespread popularity for TV shows including Spy, Fat Albert and The Cosby Show. Following years of accusations, he was found guilty of sexual assault in 2018. Who is Bill Cosby? Bill Cosby was born on July 12, 1937, in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He dropped out of high school to join the U.S. Navy, and later dropped out of college to become stand-up comedian. Cosby's first acting assignment, in the espionage series Spy, 1965-68, made him the first black actor to co-star in leading dramatic role on network television, as well as the first to earn an Emmy Award. His most successful work, The Cosby Show, appeared on NBC from 1984 to 1992, and was the highest-rated sitcom for several consecutive years. Cosby's legendary status was tarnished when numerous accusations of sexual misconduct surfaced in 2014. His trial for 3 counts of aggravated indecent assault ended with deadlocked jury in June 2017, but he was found guilty after retrial in April 2018. Background and early career: actor, comedian, writer and producer Bill Cosby was born William Henry Cosby Jr. on July 12, 1937, in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. With numerous awards to his credit, Bill Cosby is one of the top names in comedy. He also helped break down racial barriers on television in the 1960s with Spy and, later, The Cosby Show. Cosby, the oldest of 4 boys, grew up in Philadelphia's Germantown neighborhood. At first, the Cosbys were able to get by financially, but the family's money began to slip when Cosby's father, William Cosby Sr., began drinking heavily. After his father enlisted in the U.S. Navy, Cosby became like parent to his brothers. Cosby's mother, Anna, worked cleaning houses. He and his family also ended up living in the Richard Allen Homes, low-income housing project. At the age of 8, Cosby suffered great loss when his brother James, the second oldest of the boys, died. With money very tight for his family, Cosby started shining shoes and worked at supermarket during his middle school years. Despite their hardships, Cosby's mother stressed the value of education and learning. She often read books to Bill and his brothers, including the Bible and works by Mark Twain. Gifted storyteller himself, Cosby learned early on that humor could be a way to make friends and get what he wanted. Cosby excelled at making things up. As one of his teachers once noted, William should become either a lawyer or an actor because he lies so well. In school, Cosby was bright but unmotivated. He liked to tell stories and jokes to his classmates more than he liked to do his schoolwork. One of his teachers encouraged him to put his performing talents to use in school plays, not in her classroom. At home, Cosby listened to a variety of radio programs and started imitating such comedians as Jerry Lewis. He also watched such television performers as Sid Caesar and Jack Benny whenever he could. While he was more interested in sports than academics, he was active on his school's track and football teams. Cosby was placed in high school for gifted students after scoring high on an IQ test. But Cosby failed to apply himself and ended up failing 10th grade twice. He switched to Germantown High School, but the academic issues continued. In frustration, Cosby dropped out of high school. He worked several odd jobs before joining the U.S. Navy in 1956. During his military service, Cosby worked as medical aid on ships, in several hospitals and at other facilities. He also joined the Navy's track team, where he excelled, especially in the high jump event. Regretting his decision to drop out of school, Cosby earned his high school equivalency diploma while in the service. After leaving the Navy, he went to Temple University via scholarship. While at Temple, Cosby landed a job as bartender at Coffee House. He told jokes there, and eventually landed work filling in for the house comedian from time to time at nearby club. Cosby also performed as warm-up act for his cousin's radio show. He found inspiration in the works of such comedians as Dick Gregory, an African-American comic who often talked about racial issues in his routines. Early in his career, Cosby discussed race in his act as well, but he eventually dropped it from his performances, choosing to focus on telling stories about more general and universal themes. I Spy and Fat Albert. Nearly halfway through his college career, Cosby decided to drop out to pursue a career in stand-up comedy. He started performing at plays in Greenwich Village, New York, and he toured extensively, winning over fans. In 1963, Cosby made his first appearance on Johnny Carson's Tonight Show, which helped introduce him to national audience. Cosby would go on to appear on the show dozens of times. He also landed recording contract and that same year released his first comedy album, Bill Cosby is Very Funny Fellow. Right. He won Grammy Award, Best Comedy Performance, for his next effort. 1964 started out as Child. For the remainder of the 1960s, Cosby released hit album after hit album, winning another 5 Grammys. He would later pick up 2 more for his recordings for children as part of the Electric Company TV series. In 1965, Cosby also helped pave the way for African-American TV performers with leading role in TV series. Portraying Alexander Scott, he starred with Robert Culp in the espionage series Spy. The 2 spies pretended to be professional tennis player, Culp, traveling with his coach, Cosby. The show ran for 3 years, and Cosby received 3 consecutive Emmy Awards for his work. Not long after Spy ended, Cosby starred in his own sitcom. The Bill Cosby Show ran for 2 seasons, from 1969 to 1971, and featured the comedian as gym teacher at Los Angeles High School. Former aspiring teacher, Cosby went back to school at the University of Massachusetts at Amherst. Around the same time, he appeared on the educational children's series The Electric Company, and developed the animated series Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids, which he based on many of his childhood experiences. In 1977, Cosby received doctorate in urban education from the university, having written his dissertation on Fat Albert. Cosby had received the degree via non-traditional methods, with his screen work reportedly counting toward course credits. On the big screen, Cosby enjoyed box office success with the 1974 comedy Uptown Saturday Night, co-starring Sidney Poitier and Harry Belafonte, with Poitier directing. Continuing to attract big audiences, he appeared opposite Poitier in 2 more comedy hits, Let's Do It Again and Piece of the Action, in 1975 and 1977, respectively. The Cosby Show once again turning to his life for inspiration, Cosby began working on new television series. The sitcom focused on an upper-middle-class African-American couple with 5 children. Each of the children's characters shared some traits of their real-life counterparts. Married since 1964, Cosby and his real-life wife, Camille, had 4 daughters and 1 son. Cosby originally wanted the show to be about Driver and his plumber wife, with Camille joining producers to push for the show to be about doctor and attorney. In 1984, The Cosby Show debuted to favorable reviews and strong ratings. Week after week, The Cosby Show drew audiences with its warm humor and believable situations. Cosby's character, Dr. Heathcliff Huxtable, became one of the most popular dads in television history. He also served as parental figure to his young co-stars, including Sabrina LaBeouf, Lisa Bonet, Malcolm Jamal Warner, Tempest Bledsoe and Keshia Knight Pulliam, as well as Raven Simone and Erica Alexander, on set. Phylicia Rashad co-starred with Cosby as his wife, Claire. After being the highest-rated sitcom on TV for several years, the show finally ended its run in 1992. Over the show's 8-season run, Cosby found time for other projects. He appeared in several films, including Leonard Part, 1987, and Ghost Dad, 1990. In 1986, Cosby achieved another career milestone, becoming best-selling author. His reflections on parenting were included in the book Fatherhood, which sold millions of copies. His opus on aging, Time Flies, 1987, also enjoyed huge sales. In addition, Cosby enjoyed great popularity as pitchman, appearing in commercials for such products as Jell-O, for which he had served as spokesman since 1974. After The Cosby Show, Cosby continued to work in television. He starred in The Cosby Mysteries, in which he